Today we're going to look at section 2.4, numbers 31 and higher. So we've already learned numbers 0 to 30, and now we'll learn the rest of the numbers. And they are as follows. Tenemos 31, 31, 32, 32, 33, 33, 34, 34, 35, 35, 36, 36, 37, 37, 38, 38, 39, 39. So you notice that these numbers follow the same basic pattern as 21 to 29, except that all of these are separate words. Literally 30 and 1 makes 31. Or 30 and 2 makes 32. We have some other numbers like 40, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, as follows. And all of the numbers follow the exact same pattern. We have 50, 50, 51, 52, also 60, 63, 64, also 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90, and 100, 100, or also could be ciento. We'll look at that. So E, meaning and, is used in most numbers from 31 to 99. Unlike the numbers 21 to 29, these numbers must be written as three separate words, as they are three separate words. Por ejemplo, hay 92 exámenes. There are 92 exams. O hay 42 estudiantes. There are 42 students. Otro ejemplo, hay 47 estudiantes en la clase de geografía. Or 100 menos 64 son 36 pesos de cambio. With numbers that end in uno, like 31, 41, etc., uno becomes un before a masculine noun and una before a feminine noun. Just like with 21, 21, 21. For example, hay 31 chicos. There are 31 guys. Or hay 31 chicas. There are 31 girls. Same thing would be with 41. Hay 41 chicos. Or hay 41 chicas. The word 100, meaning 100, is used before nouns and in counting. The words un, una, and uno are never used before 100 in Spanish. In English, we'll say 100 or 100 or something like that. The word 100 already means 100 or 100, and therefore you don't need to use the word one or a. Por ejemplo, hay 100 libros y 100 sillas. There are 100 books and 100 chairs. And we use cientos to say hundreds. For example, ¿cuántos libros hay? Cientos. How many books are there? Hundreds of books. Numbers 101 and higher. As shown in the chart, Spanish uses a period to indicate thousands and millions, rather than a comma, as used in English. And for a period in like a decimal point or something, they use a comma, whereas we use a period. Let's look at the numbers 101 and higher. We have 101, 200 o 200, 300, 300, 400, 400, 500, 500, 600, 600, 700, 700, 800, 800, 900, 900. For 1000, it's just mil. Same thing with 100. You wouldn't say un mil or una mil or something like that. Simply mil on its own means 1000. And then to have higher numbers, you just simply say two numbers together. For example, 1100 is 1100. 2000, 2000. The word for two, and the word for 1000. Just like we do in English. 2000, 2000, 5000, 5000, 100,000, 100,000, 200,000, 200,000, it could be 200,000, 550,000, 550,000. Notice that all of the 100 words have concordancia with the thing that they match. For example, 200 libros, but 200 plumas, or 200 chicas. For 1 million, we have un millón, and we almost always use the word de after it, a million of. Un millón de libros, un millón de dólares. And the plural form of it, notice also has a written accent mark in the singular form. In the plural form, it is millones, millones. For example, 8 millones, 8 millones de libros. Notice that you should use ciento and not cien to count to numbers over 100. For example, 110, 110. 118, 118. 150, 150. The numbers 200 through 999 agree in gender with the nouns that they modify, or they have concordancia, as we say. For example, 324 plumas would be 324 plumas. 300 because of plumas. Same thing with 3,505 libros, 3,505 libros. 500 because of libros. And it's just simply the words of the numbers. 3,505. 3,000, 3,500, 500, matching with libros, 5, 5. The word mil, which can mean 1,000 and 1,000, is not usually used in the plural form to refer to an exact number, but it can be used to express the idea of a lot, many, or thousands. And the same thing with cientos can be used to express hundreds of something. For example, hay miles de personas en el estadio. There are thousands of people in the stadium. Or hay cientos de libros en la biblioteca. There are hundreds of books in the library. Not actually counting them, but rather just expressing the idea of the fact that there's a lot of them. Miles y miles de personas. When millón or millones is used before a noun, the word de is placed between the two. Por ejemplo, un millón de hombres is 1,000 men. Or 12 millones de casas would be 12 million houses. They always use the word de here. It's something we don't do in English. To express a complex number, including years, we simply string together all of its components. For example, 55,422 is the direct translation from English. 55,000, 55,000, 400, 400, 22, 22, 55,422. We also have a phenomenon in English of separating our birth year into two numbers. For example, I was born in 1992, and I separated into 19 and 92. It's kind of odd and arbitrary that we even do that. It does make it easier to speak, and we'll just simply say 90. I was born in 92. I was born in 96. I was born in 98. I was born in 2000, something like that. In Spanish, though, they say all of it together. So they would use, for example, 1,992. They would say 1992. And they'll never ever separate it out and say something like 1992. They don't do that, and you can't do it either. So just know that with birth years and things, you'll hear lots of numbers. 1992. Or if you're born in the year 2000, simply 2000, 2001, 2001, something like that.